Today on the news and why it matters, we have got the latest on impeachment. So the House voted to impeach him, obviously, but then they don't want to give it to the Senate. I don't know. It's really weird. We'll get into all of that. Also, actress Kate Beckinsale says that healthier marriages usually happen when the people live apart, because that makes a whole lot of sense. We've got a lot to get into today at Turning Point USA Student Action Summit, live from West Palm Beach, Florida. It starts right now. Welcome to the news and why it matters. As I said, I am in sunny, not so sunny, it's kind of rainy actually, Palm Beach, Florida. Today is the start of the Student Action Summit for Turning Point USA. We are really excited. We've got two Turning Point folks here. We've got Alex Clark, host of Poplitics with Turning Point. So happy you're here.
Thank you so much.
I always love when there is a fellow female. It's like we are surrounded by, I mean, here, we've got Chief Content Officer Benny Johnson here as well from Turning Point. This industry is so male dominated, we never get women.
And two brunettes.
Yes. Two brunettes rocking it and not trying to bleach our hair.
Brunettes?
You have, wait a minute, your hair is not brunette. You have dirty blonde hair.
It's a little bit, I would call sandy blonde maybe.
Because of the amount of men in this industry, I'm just going to be silent for the whole rest of the show. I'm going to stage a silent protest.
No, we want to hear what you have to say.
We've got a lot to get into, obviously. First, we want to quickly thank our sponsor, American Financing. So if you have maybe you were looking at refinancing your house, maybe you are just looking to buy a new one because you're like, hey, interest rates are really great right now and I don't want to wait until they go back up. American Financing is your go-to. They are a family-owned business and they are salary-based. They're not commission-based. They're not looking for what's the best kickback for me from these financial institutions. What's going to make me the most amount of money? No, they really want to put you guys in a situation that is right for you and your family. My husband and I just worked with them because we are looking at, do we want to buy a house? Do we want to do a new build? And they actually told us, if you do a new build, they're going to be able to give you a better deal than we will. But here are the things that you need to be looking for and asking them for to make sure that they give you the best deal. They're talking themselves out of business. I don't know how they do it, but they are going to make sure you are in the right solution for you. You got to go to AmericanFinancing.net. That is AmericanFinancing.net. Whatever your loan is for, they can take care of you there. AmericanFinancing.net. So, impeachment gate. It finally happened. I mean, it was a really solemn, somber day.
Yeah, right.
There was a lot of black grieving, probably sorrowful crying, but it finally happened. Obviously, the Democrats voted to impeach President Trump. Now, there were, I believe, four Democrats who voted against it. Colin Peterson, Jeff Van Drew, Jared Golden, and then Tulsi Gabbard voted present. She, I guess, was trying to stay in the middle, stay neutral in this conversation. And I want to get into kind of what y'all's thoughts are on how this has all played out, why Nancy Pelosi is now saying she might not send the articles of impeachment to the Senate for a trial until maybe January. Want to get all your thoughts on that. But first, let's listen to Tulsi explain why she only voted present at the impeachment vote.
So after doing my due diligence and reviewing the 658-page impeachment report, I came to the conclusion that I could not in good conscience vote either yes or no. I am standing in the center and decided to vote present. I could not in good conscience vote against impeachment because I believe President Trump is guilty of wrongdoing. I also could not in good conscience vote for impeachment because removal of a sitting president must not be the culmination of a partisan process fueled by tribal animosities that have so gravely divided our country.
I mean, is that not just a cop-out?
I think this was a huge missed opportunity for Tulsi because this was her chance. I mean, she has a lot of Republicans are interested in her. This was her moment, I think, to fully steal some people. You know what I mean? If she wanted to, and she blew it.
Yeah.
She blew it.
Yeah. Benny, what do you think? I mean, to me, I'm like, that's a total cop-out. You don't want to be remembered as someone who went along with this because you know it's wrong, but you also know the blowback you're going to get from your own party if you stand up against it.
So you're playing right now conservative hero bingo, all right? First, you blow Kamala Harris out of the water on live TV.
Yes.
Just end her career. And then you blow Hillary Clinton and the rotten to the core Democratic Party. Remember the tweet? The tweet heard around the world?
Who doesn't remember?
Blow up Hillary Clinton. You at her even.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Savage.
Epic.
And then you decide not to vote for impeachment. I think just the voting present and explaining that is a real nod to the major problem with his impeachment vote.
Right.
Which is just
without saying it though, right?
Without saying it, yes. But she says here, listen, I'm not going to vote for a completely partisan process. And all she's doing is taking the lines of the Democrats just a couple of months ago, saying Adam Schiff, Nancy Pelosi, saying we won't vote for something just on a partisan lines. This has to be bipartisan.
Right.
And so she's sort of doing what she's doing best and earning her a lot of cult following among conservatives, which is throwing the hypocrisy back into the establishment Democrats' faces.
What was the most interesting part of what she said, I was like, wait, the impeachment report was 658 pages of what?
Yeah.
How did they fill 658 pages of something he did hurt our feelings?
Right?
Yeah.
Fill in a noun here, a verb here.
Exactly.
Nailed it.
So
Connect
Nancy
all the dots, you
Pelosi,
see Hunter Biden.
Ukraine, Burisma, right there, guys.
Adorable.
So Nancy Pelosi obviously said she's not going to send the articles of impeachment to the Senate now. She says, well, we're going to wait until we know that Mitch McConnell is going to give this a fair trial. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. The House is actually, they're the investigatory body. They're the ones who were supposed to make sure they called all the witnesses, make sure they had all of the information surrounding this before they handed it over to the Senate. So do you really think that that's why Nancy Pelosi is holding it back, or do you think that there's another reason, Benny?
So was this like a screenplay written by J.J. Abrams? Like, is this like Lost?
Right.
Or,
bizarre.
The Last Jedi? Like, is there all these mysteries we're supposed to find out in the Senate? That's not the way it's supposed to work.
No.
But for people who claim and who are grasping so desperately to the Constitution, they sure haven't read it. Because this isn't the way it's supposed to happen.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
It's being used as a political cudgel because they have a sad that orange man bad.
Sad. Alex, do you agree?
Right. I absolutely agree with that. And the thing is, you can tell that they're making it up as they go because now it's just like, well, we just don't know if it's going to be fair. But what are they ever going to think is fair unless the Senate votes to remove him? Right?
Yeah.
So they're always going to say that it's unfair.
Yeah.
So it's just disingenuous.
So let me ask you, Alex, you host Poplitics, where you try to kind of bridge politics and pop culture. I know you are the pop culture guru for Turning Point, and I mean really for all of us on social media. I know I look to you. But you focus on pop culture.
Right.
You're not in our political every day. We are looking at every single thing that the Democrats and the Republicans are doing every day. Benny and I, you don't do that so much. What do you think the average person who is outside of this world, what do you think that they think of all of this impeachment?
Okay, so I have two opinions on this. When I'm thinking about when I'm talking to my friends in the middle who are either in the middle strictly or just totally apolitical, they really have no idea what's going on. Because I have those friends that are like, Alex, I don't understand how you do what you do. I don't understand any of this stuff. The two things I'm hearing, and it's very black and white. Yeah. On one hand, I'm hearing, well, he was impeached. That must be bad, right? I don't know that I would want to vote for an impeached president. He had to have done something. So they don't understand that. Or you have the people that understand that it's a total sham from the Democrats just because they don't want him to get reelected. They're so scared of him getting reelected that they're just making things up.
Yeah.
So you have two people on both sides of the aisle. And so I'm very curious in 2020 to see where people are going to lean. Are the middle voters, are the people that don't really follow this closely going to lean with, ooh, impeachment sounds like a scary word, or are they going to go, this whole thing is bogus?
Right.
So we'll have to find out.
This is just live TV. So what this is it's actually a soundtrack to the show now. We've just got a soundtrack now that we're playing. We hope you enjoy it. Benny, what do you think? Do you agree with Alex? Because I feel like a lot of my friends who are, they're not in this world all the time. They still see what's happening. And even if they're watching it on CNN, which they're not getting the full truth, they still are thinking to themselves, this isn't right to do to someone.
Yeah. So for me, this feels as though they have decided on the outcome before the jury trial.
They found the criminal before they found the crime.
That's good.
And the refusal to send it to the Senate is just the glaring Perfect encapsulation of what a political process this has been.
Yeah.
The weird part about all of this is that as the hearings went on about impeachment, polling for impeachment went like that.
Yeah.
So the longer the hearings went on, the more witnesses they called, the less people wanted impeachment. Among Democrats, among independents, certainly among Republicans. And the day they voted for impeachment was the first time that they went completely underwater. And the vast majority of Americans said that this is a sham process. And so you are really like, you are not just jumping on the sword here, you are like jumping, going down completely with the ship on this thing.
Yeah.
And I do feel as though there is this politicization of this mechanism is really disgusting the American people, and we'll see in 2020 what the results are.
Yeah.
See, that's what I don't understand with the polling as the impeachment hearings were going on. The polling of the American people saying like, "Yikes! Like I'm not really on board with the ship," and they still went through that. I thought maybe last night they were going to do a 180 and they were going to change their mind, be like, they were going to see that the American people were not on board with this, but they still went through that. I was actually holding out hope that maybe they were going to change course at the last minute.
Aww, that's adorable.
Like, if you're trying to pick someone up, right, and you're trying to like lay on your best lines and your best moves, right? That's what this hearing was. Like, it was like, here's our best case, right? And like at the end of the night, it's like, no, you're paying for your own drinks here.
Here's how I look at it. The Democrats right now are kind of, you're in the talking, okay, if you think about this like dating, the Democrats are in the talking stages on the dating app with the American people. So right now you're trying to get them to ask for your number.
Yes.
They almost had it if they wouldn't have gone through with impeachment. And now the polls are getting, it's like they're not going to want to go on a date with you, Democrats.
Yeah, now they're just the creepy guys hitting your DMs. Yeah, that's what Dems are. They're just like, hey.
Here's a picture of my penis.
Yeah, exactly. That's where we're going. So
no, we went there, Benny. We went there.
This is the time where I just go silent.
The women are doing the talking now.
Yeah, no, but I mean, you do bring up, I understand what you mean when you say you would think that they would just finally get it because the American people are explaining it to them.
They should be courting us.
Yeah,
they're trying to win us over.
Yes, because you saw, I mean, how shocked they were that Donald Trump even won. Right? In 2016, that would have been, I think, if they had any sort of logic, their wake-up call that, hey, we're doing this the wrong way. The American people don't like what we're doing. But instead, they've doubled down on it, tripled down on it, quadrupled down on it. Instead of realizing and backtracking and trying to reset.
Why do you lose places like Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin? Why do you lose Pennsylvania? Why did the entire blue wall collapse, fall? Like
you're not listening to the voters.
You're not.
Right.
Do you think you're going to win back these blue collar voters, these people, these suburban white families that you lost in catastrophic numbers by doing more extremism? You have to sit there and be very scared thinking in 2016, wow, maybe they're going to realign, they're going to win back the unions, Democrats are going to really understand they have a major problem with working class, rural Americans. This has been the exact opposite.
Yeah. Before we go to break, I do want to get both of your opinion on, we don't know what Mitch McConnell is going to do. He's kind of floated the idea that they would just, vote to acquit him. He could decide to hold a full trial and call a bunch of witnesses, call Hunter Biden, give me the popcorn. Call the whistleblower, whose name is Eric Charmella. Okay, we all know it, so I'm just going to go ahead and get that out there.
If you say it 3 times, he appears.
Really? Like, do you have to turn around in a mirror? So part of me longs for that, but I know that, he has a couple different options there. Alex, what do you think would be the best one for the American people? Do you think that they should see this full trial come out, or do you think that they should just acquit him or vote not to take it up and be done with it and move on?
I almost think maybe they should do the full trial so that for those people that I was talking about that aren't following this closely, they finally get some answers and they can just see how dishonest they are.
Yeah.
Without that, maybe it kind of makes conservatives look like we're trying to push stuff under the rug and just get it over with. That might look worse on us.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think, Benny?
I think that bringing it to a full trial validates the House process, which is the major issue here. The House process. We heard that this was an emergency, that this had to be done in the dark of night. This had to be done quickly. Hurry, get this done. It's not the way that any of this is supposed to work. It's not supposed to be done on partisan lines. Let's remember, the only bipartisan effort here was against impeachment. Against impeachment. You have presidential candidates for the Democrats, Tulsi Gabbard, saying that she's not going to support impeachment. you have a major issue here, and if you bring it to a trial in the Senate, what you do is you validate the process in the House. And so that's the tough position Mitch McConnell's in. What I want to ask Alex is which television judge should oversee the trial?
You know who would be funny is Miss J from America's Next Top Model.
Wow.
Just very dramatic, darling. You know what I mean? Like lots of oh my goodness, lots of gasping, lots of making them walk. Let's walk down the runway. Let's compete against each other. Like make it fun. Let's just go through the whole.
I think Judge Judy.
That's what I was gonna say. That
sounds really good.
That nonsense. Yeah.
Go pee on my
the
leg and
gavel.
tell me it's raining.
Yep.
Conservatee, as we say on my show, Politics. I have a lot of people, insider information, that have told me that Judge Judy is very conservative.
Oh, I would believe that.
Yeah.
I would totally believe that.
Totally.
All right, when we come back, New York Governor Cuomo proposes a new law that allows women to claim they were raped after consuming alcohol. What could possibly go wrong? When we return. Before we get back into the conversation, we want to thank our sponsor, Overcomer, which is the #1 inspirational movie in America right now, and it is available for not only Blu-ray and DVD, but also digital download. So Overcomer is from the Kendrick brothers, who obviously they're like one of the most beloved faith storytellers. They were behind Courageous and War Room, which were both huge hits. If you are looking for a good holiday movie, you're going to be with your family, you're going to be celebrating Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever it is that you celebrate, and you're going to be gathered together. This is a really great one to get all of the family together and watch. It is a film filled with a powerful mix of faith, a twist of humor, a ton of heart. It tells a story about a high school basketball coach who, he all of a sudden he loses all of his team. There's this manufacturing plant in town that shuts down, and they all move away, and then he gets stuck coaching cross country, which who wants to coach that? That's boring. There's only one person on the team. But somehow this relationship is made, and it really is. It turns you into a cross-country fan. That's how great the movie is. It turns you into a cross-country fan. You got to go to overcomermovie.com. That is overcomermovie.com. Digital download, Blu-ray, and DVD release, overcomermovie.com. So Governor Andrew Cuomo, oh man, he's great. He has proposed legislation that would close what he calls a loophole in rape law. He says that prosecutors cannot bring rape charges against an accused person if an accuser voluntarily consumes alcohol, but he wants to change the state's definition of those who cannot legally consent to sexual activity to include someone who is conscious but allegedly too drunk to consent. So he wants to give it a little, well, you wake up the next morning, you decided you were too drunk to consent. Now you can bring up rape charges against the person that you previously had consensual sex with. Alex, what could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was just going to say. Okay, every girl, I mean, so many girls that happens where you might hook up with somebody, and if you regret it, it doesn't mean that you were raped. And this is just such a slippery slope. And this is, when I think about bills and things like this happening, it just shows how far the feminist movement has gone, that every man is demonized. It's so unfair. And I can't imagine how many things could go wrong with this. And also, this whole idea of like, well, I drink alcohol, I can't be held responsible. Does this also apply for DUIs and drunk driving? If you hurt somebody drunk driving, you know what I mean? Like, this doesn't make any sense.
Right. Well, and why is it, Benny, that it's somehow, if the man's drinking and the woman's drinking, the woman gets a pass because she's drinking, but the man somehow doesn't?
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
I believe that this was played out on a big national stage just a year ago with the Brett Kavanaugh nomination, where you saw a horrifying precedent begin to solidify where anyone can accuse anyone powerful of horrible, horrible sexual acts. Let's remember, they accused him of gang rape. They accused him of multiple times gang rape. And these women came forward, cataloged, Washington Post, New York Times, came forward saying, I lied. 100% made up. I never even met the man. That's terrifying. And what happens to Brett Kavanaugh? What does he get back?
Yeah.
Where is his reputation restored?
Yeah.
It's been ruined for an entire generation if you actually believe that garbage. And is that the new precedent that you're going to set for males or women? There's no reason that this can't happen to women or males.
Right.
Where just fake accusations get made up about you to destroy you if you happen to become powerful or influential.
Yeah.
And what's the limit here for alcohol? One glass of wine, does that count where you can't be held responsible for your actions? Or is it 10 beers? Because here's the thing, depending on how much I eat in a certain day, I could have one glass of alcohol and I can be wasted because I'm a tiny person, or I could have 4 and be totally fine. I'm completely sober depending on how much I eat right before. So it's just like, how are we going to uphold the standard? And also, what about same-sex relationships?
We got her going.
I know.
What about same-sex relationships, though? You know what I mean?
know.
This seems like it applies to men and women, but okay, what about people that are drinking that end up hooking up and regret it if they're in a same-sex relationship? None of this has any type of standard.
Yeah. No, you're totally right. You're totally right. Well, and I mean, I just think it's sad that we have a culture now that women are still screaming about equal rights, but that's not really what they want.
You're not so yeah, the guy has all this responsibility. You have none if you're drinking. You're right.
Yeah, I don't understand, Benny, how, and I know you are happily married, right? But how do men even date in 2019? I mean, it's got to be terrifying. I have a 7-year-old son. I'm like, I don't know how does he navigate this when you could be accused of all sorts of things 40 years later, your reputation is tarnished. Like, do you need a contract before you take a girl out on a date? Will you please sign this saying what I can and cannot do? I mean, it's crazy.
My wife and I talk about this all the time, actually.
Yeah.
Where we're saying, we met the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
Like, I actually had to physically speak with her and, like, talk with her and then take her out on a date and hold her hand.
Open the door for
and
her.
open the door. Like, it's so old-fashioned now. It's unbelievably old-fashioned now. No, I mean, today people date and then break up and they never even met each other.
Right.
And it was just an anime character the whole time. So I'll tell you what, guys, I'm speaking to you, young men. I'm speaking to you. Find yourself a good girl the old-fashioned way. Treat her right. Put a ring on it, respect her. You won't have to worry about all this alcohol stuff. My wife got me a wedding ring made out of Woodford Reserve bourbon staves.
No way.
Okay?
What?
So you'll be able to have both. You'll be able to have your favorite drink and your marriage and be just a happy dude. My recommendation, young guys, find yourself a good girl, marry her, start a family.
How is it that every single time you talk about Nurse Kate, I always hear a story that makes her 10 times cooler? Like, she keeps getting cooler and cooler. I don't understand.
Okay, so my husband is the director here, and he just said in my ear, now I have to get him a new ring. So thanks a lot, Penny.
There we go.
Thanks a lot. Well,
Woodford.
thanks a lot, Nurse Kate. Right? Now I got to up my game
Bourbon
over
barrel
here.
wedding ring.
That's awesome. All right, back in a minute. Before we go into overtime, want to make sure that you guys know where you can find these lovely people who just made their maiden voyage on the show. Benny, Chief Content Officer of Turning Point, and you got to, if you're not following Benny on Twitter, you're missing out. I mean, it was life-changing when I started following Benny on Twitter. You've got the best memes, the best
Been retweeted by the
videos.
president how many times this year? Multiple.
The president loves memes. That's the thing. We have a meme lord
That is the
president.
thing.
That's the best part.
It's true.
We have a meme lord
It's true.
president, and the political world has finally come to me. I've always loved memes. I've always loved humor in politics.
Yeah.
I believe it's very important to ridicule our powerful people in the country.
Right, of
And
course.
that's what makes us America, quite frankly, because you can't do that in a dictatorship.
Right.
So that's what it's great. The meme world has come to politics completely. They are one and the same now.
The left can't meme, but Benny Johnson can.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then Alex, tell everyone where they can find you.
So I cover pop culture from a conservative perspective with Poplitics on Instagram, at Poplitics with Turning Point USA. It's the first time this has ever been done in the conservative movement, a strictly pop culture show. So it's a really good introductory point for people that are new into politics or aren't sure if they're conservative, or especially with college-age kids, high school-age kids, if you're trying to get your kids to get more involved. This is a good one, because who doesn't love talking about the Kardashians?
I would agree with that. Now, I will say the guys who are usually on my show, they don't want to talk about the Kardashians with me.
Of course not.
So
That's all right. Have me on, Sarah. We'll
Yes,
do it.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. We're changing overtime stories now, all right? We're talking about the Kardashians. Don't forget, if you need a last-minute gift for someone who, just like loves America and also conservative media, you can use a promo code to get you $20 off of your annual subscription to Blaze TV. It is the perfect gift for the fellow patriots in your life. You got to go to blazetv.com/newsny. Use promo code news20 off. Not only will you get $20 off, you will also get a 30-day free trial. But you're not going to need the trial because you already know that it's going to be awesome, okay? You've got News and Why It Matters with awesome guests like this. You've got Glenn Beck. You've got Chad Prather, who will be joining us shortly. You got it all. BlazeTV.com. Go there now.